Welcome to a short video about the Sage Coretime Purchase Order Management module. If your organisation regularly purchases goods and services that are used in delivering projects, or if you buy items on behalf of clients that need to be recharged, you need to make sure that these costs are recorded accurately against your jobs. Many companies struggle to keep track of these costs, or they may have a manual process for tracking purchases. Now, this is typically an Excel spreadsheet. This can result in items being missed or costs not being recouped. In addition, items can be ordered from the wrong supplier or be ordered without the appropriate level of approval or oversight. Then there is the challenge of matching supplier invoices to purchases. And finally, all of this data has to find its way into your accounting system, in this case Sage 50. The Purchase Order Management extension for Sage Coretime can take care of all of this. It gives existing Coretime users a flexible, easy to use and disciplined workflow for managing supplier purchases that is available to any authorized Sage Coretime user. Let's have a look at the key features. The Coretime Purchase Order Management System is made up of several components. The first part of the module is the Approved Supplier Database. This is where administrators can view and define which suppliers can have purchase orders raised against them. The next part of the chain is the ability for nominated users to raise purchase requisitions. Remember, this could be anybody who has access to Coretime. Purchase requisitions can only be raised against approved suppliers and are aligned to expense categories that have already been defined in the Sage Coretime application. These requisitions are then sent for approval to the appropriate user. This could be the project manager or the accounts team or both. Authorizers are notified by email that they have a requisition requiring their attention, so they don't have to keep checking Coretime for new items. This approval step can be removed if required. Once approved, a purchase order is generated by the module and is sent typically by email and in a PDF format to the supplier. The layout of the purchase order will be tailored to your exact specification. The value of the purchase order is now written into the Sage Coretime project and is visible on the work in progress screen and all relevant reports. Next, goods and services are then marked as being received or partially received in the receipting screen. And when the supplier invoice arrives, this can be matched to the aforementioned receipt or marked for follow-up. Finally, the matched transaction is passed through to your Sage account system at a database level without any need for rekeying or importing of Excel files. So, let's see this in action. Okay, let's have a look at the Purchase Order Management System in action. So I'm just going to log in as a user here. It's just standard Coretime interface. What we have are some extra programs loaded onto this user for the various bits of the Purchase Order Management System. Now each user can have access to their own set of menus. Different people can have access to different parts of this, of course, and we can insert these menu items wherever you want within the Coretime system. Now this user can have access to absolutely everything, so you can see here all the different parts to it. I'll take you through to the first part, which is the supplier maintenance table. So what this does is it takes a feed from the Sage 50 supplier database, and then it gives you the option of deciding from those suppliers which ones purchase orders can be raised against. Okay, so you can see here we've got a list of all the suppliers and what status they're on, and it's only the approved ones that we can raise purchase requisitions and purchase orders against. What I'm going to do next is raise a purchase order requisition against one of those suppliers and feed it through for authorization. So this is the purchase order requisition screen. If I just click on the Create New Requisition, I get another screen popping up which captures the information that I need. So the first thing I'm going to do is select the project that it belongs to. If you're using phases, work stages, sub-projects, whatever you want to call them, those will come through as well. And there's the supplier table that we were looking at a second ago with just the approved suppliers showing on it. So I'm going to select Smith Engineering. And then I've got to align it to an expense category. What type of expenditure is this? So I'm going to say it's for technical services. And I can put some narrative that I may want to appear on the purchase order document itself. Then it's for the actual lines to go onto the purchase order. So I'm just going to do a simple one line purchase requisition for a survey. There's going to be one survey and it's charged at £500. It's vatable. And I can create an extra line if I wanted to, but I'm happy with that. So I'm going to now submit that on to the authorizer, who in this case is the project manager, for approval. But you can see now it's confirming that the requester is Katie, the authorizer is Laurie Pottage, and we've got the values coming through here. So as soon as I hit submit, that then goes off. You get a confirmation that it's been sent for approval, and also an email goes off to the authorizer to remind him or her that something needs checking. And you can see now a confirmation that I've raised this purchase requisition and what status it's on at the moment. So I'm just going to flick browser sessions to the authorizer lorry pottage. If I go into the menu here, go into the authorization program, and you can see at the top there the most recent one coming through, which came through from Katie. And I can go into that and make amendments if I wanted to. I could reject it. If I do reject it, it'll ask me for some notes, and an email will fire back to Katie to say this has been rejected, please take a look at it. But in this case, I'm happy with it, so I'm going to authorize it. And it disappears from my list, so I don't need to focus it on anymore. I can move on to the next ones and authorize or reject those. If I go back to Katie's screen now and look at her requisitions, you can see that's now gone because it's been approved. Now either user can raise the purchase order that goes off to the supplier, and that can be in a PDF format that's dictated by you. Now in terms of next steps, we have a receipting program that says, look, you've ordered these goods, have they actually been delivered yet? Well, once we've taken delivery of this survey, I can see we've got a Smith Engineering drop down here. Select the supplier. These are the things that they're supposed to be supplying to us. Which ones have they supplied? Well, it's this one here. Did they supply one unit? Yes, they did. So obviously you can do a partial receipt if you need to. And then you just create a receipt, and that vanishes from that particular list and pushes it further down the chain. If I go to the project now and look at project number 1234 that this was booked against, you can see on the work in progress screen there is the purchase that we've just been working on. So I haven't had to do any keying again, it's just displayed as a cost against the project within Coretime. Coming back out into the purchase order management system, the next step would be to match the invoice that we receive from the supplier. So again, you just select the supplier from the top. You can see here, this is the one that we've been working on. And all we need to do now is put in some information about the invoice that we received from that supplier. And again, if there's discrepancies, they can be handled within this system. And that's that done. So once the invoice has been matched, the next part of the routine would be to post these transactions through to Sage Accounts. And you can see the most recent one coming through there, and all the others that are waiting to be transacted into the Sage accounting system. And all I would need to do is hit that button and the whole batch goes through. So that's how the purchase order management system works. Very, very quickly. There are other bits and pieces in and around it. So we can do a more tailored demonstration if you want to know more about it. For more information on the Sage Coretime purchase order management system, please get in contact with the OneSys sales team on 01423 330 335.